Most people think credit scores are a mystery, some sort of secret number generated by a black box in a basement that dictates whether you can buy a house or get a decent interest rate. But it is not a mystery. It is a report card. And just like any report card, if you know what the teacher is looking for, you can ace it. The reality is that your credit score is simply a measurement of your reliability. Banks are in the business of lending money, which means they're in the business of managing risk. Every time you use a credit card or pay a loan, you are telling the bank one of two things. Either you are a safe bet or you are a liability. Today, I'm going to show you how to move from being a financial unknown to being a golden asset in the eyes of every major lender in the country. We start with the most dangerous myth in personal finance, the idea that you need to carry a balance to build credit. Let me be crystal clear, you never ever need to pay a cent in interest to have a perfect credit score. Banks want you to believe that paying interest proves you are a responsible borrower. That is a lie. Paying interest only proves you are a profitable customer for them. You can build a pristine credit history while paying your cards off in full every single month. When you pay your statement in full, you avoid interest entirely, but the credit card issuer still reports your positive payment activity to the major bureaus. That is the winning formula. You get the credit score boost, and they get nothing but the small transaction fee they charge the merchant. The engine of your credit score is your payment history. It accounts for 35% of your total score. Think of this as your track record. If you've been reliable for 3 years, that's good. If you've been reliable for 10 years, that's legendary. A single missed payment is a massive stain on that record. It's like having a perfectly clean white shirt and then spilling red wine right on the front. That stain can linger on your credit report for 7 years. The fix here is brutal in its simplicity. Automate everything. If you're the type of person who forgets due dates, you are setting yourself up for failure. Set up an auto-pay for the full statement balance the moment you open a new account. Do not rely on your memory. Do not rely on your calendar. Let the bank systems talk to each other so your payments are never, ever late. Now, let's talk about the second biggest factor, credit utilization. This is the percentage of your total available credit that you're actually using. If you have a credit limit of $10,000 and you have a balance of $9,000, you are utilizing 90% of your credit. To a bank, that looks like desperation. It looks like someone who is living on the edge of a cliff. The magic number you want to stay under is 30%, but if you want to be in the top tier of credit scores, you should aim for 10% or less. Here's the insider trick that almost nobody tells you. The statement closing date is not the same as the payment due date. If you pay your balance after the statement closing date, the bank has already reported that balance to the credit bureaus. If that balance is high, your score will drop even if you pay it off in full 3 days later. To truly hack your score, look at your statement closing date and pay your balance a few days before that. By the time the bank reports your activity to the bureaus, your balance will look nearly zero. Building a thick credit file is the next step. If you only have one credit card, you're fragile. If that card is lost or the issuer decides to close your account, your credit history effectively vanishes. You need a diverse mix of credit. This doesn't mean going out and getting into debt you don't need, but it does mean having a few different types of accounts over time. However, be extremely careful about how you open these. Every time you apply for a new line of credit, the lender performs a hard inquiry on your report. A single inquiry is a minor dent, but 5 inquiries in 1 month makes you look like you're frantically searching for survival cash. Space your applications out. Give it 6 months between new accounts. If you have a thin file, start with a secured credit card. A secured card is a card where you put down a cash deposit that becomes your credit limit. It's foolproof. It's your money, so there's zero risk for the bank, but they report your good behavior just like a standard card. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they finally decide to get their act together is closing old accounts. You might think that getting rid of an old credit card you no longer use is good for your hygiene, but it's actually destroying your foundation. Your credit age is a major component of your score. It's the average length of time your accounts have been open. If you have an account that's 10 years old and you close it, you're effectively cutting your history short and lowering that average. Unless that card has a massive annual fee that you simply can't justify, Keep it open. Use it once a year to buy a pack of gum just to keep it active, then pay it off immediately. Treat these old cards like your old friends. Keep them in your life, even if you don't hang out with them every day. There's also the matter of errors. People assume that credit bureaus are perfect high-tech machines, but they're not. They're massive databases prone to human error, computer glitches, and reporting mistakes. A wrong address, a loan that was paid off but marked as active, or a name confusion can drag your score down by 50 points or more without you even knowing why. You are entitled to a free credit report from the major bureaus once a year. Use it. Look at every single line item. If you see something that doesn't belong to you, dispute it immediately. You don't need to pay a lawyer to do this. There are standard, free dispute processes provided by the bureaus themselves. Be methodical, be clear, and be persistent. Correcting a false negative on your report can sometimes be the single most effective way to jumpstart your score overnight. I've seen people lose their minds over tiny fluctuations in their score. They see it dip by 5 points and they start panicking, changing their entire strategy. Stop. A credit score is a long-term metric. It's not a stock price that you need to check every single morning. Your score is going to move based on your statement cycles, your usage, and even the simple passage of time. Focus on the habits, not the number. If you pay every single bill in full, if you keep your utilization low, and if you keep your accounts open, the math dictates that your score will go up. It's inevitable. There's no secret sauce. There's no shortcut that beats these 3 simple pillars. If you find yourself in a situation where you've missed payments or high debt, don't look for a magic wand. Look for a plan. Call your lenders if you're struggling. They would much rather work out a payment plan with you than deal with a default. The goal here is not to play a game with the banks. The goal is to build a financial foundation that gives you options. When you have an excellent credit score, you don't ask for permission to borrow money. You negotiate terms. You get the lowest interest rates on a mortgage, the best terms on a business loan, and you qualify for premium rewards cards that actually pay you to travel and spend. You shift the power dynamic. Most people look at credit as a way to buy things they can't afford. I want you to look at credit as a tool to leverage your financial freedom. You are the architect of your own report card. If you follow the rules of the system will reward you for the rest of your life. Start today by